Research. Too often, that's the response people have when they hear research. But what they don't know is that research is really not that challenging at all. Research can seem overwhelming at first. Oftentimes you don't even know where to begin, and when you do get started, it can feel like you're getting nowhere. It can be frustrating at first. But as you research more and develop as a writer, research can become one of the most enjoyable aspects of writing. The problem with research is that the term is just too vague. So let's step back a little bit and understand what we mean when we say research in a college setting. At the college level, we are attempting what's called academic research. Academic research can be broken down into three categories: scientific research, humanities research, and artistic research. For this class, and for most liberal arts classes, you will mostly be doing humanities research, so we can ignore the other two for now. Humanities research tends to be an exploration of the context and knowledge surrounding a particular subject matter. It is research that doesn't look for specific answers to questions or problems, but to provide a better understanding of your subject matter to help guide your interpretation. For academic research, we aren't only interested in what is being researched, but where it's coming from. When we use another scholar's work in a paper, we need to explain where this information is from. This process is called citation. Citation is so crucial to academic writing that at the end of most papers, you will find what's called a works cited page. A works cited page is a listing of all the sources used in a given paper. It provides an easy insight into where the author found their information to help determine if this information can be considered valid. So let's talk a little bit about what sources are acceptable and what sources aren't acceptable. Google, Ask, Yahoo, and Bing are some of the most popular sites for the everyday person to do some general research, but for academic research, we would want to use a search engine that can guarantee some more substantive results.
What the hell did you just say?
Substantive. It means having a firm basis in reality, and therefore important, meaningful, or considerable. By using sources that are substantive, we can ensure that the research we found is respectable and authoritative information. What about Wikipedia?
Wikipedia is the best thing ever. Anyone in the world can write anything they want about any subject, so you know you are getting the best possible information.
Wikipedia might be great if you were just looking for general information on a subject to start your searching, but it's not a substantive source that can be used in a paper. However, on the bottom of most Wikipedia pages is a small works cited section linking to the sources used in that specific entry. Wikipedia may not be a valid source, but they can point you to some useful sources that could be used in a paper. Just remember to make sure that any source you find here can still be considered substantive.
How do you propose I do that?
I'm glad you asked. Determining if a source is substantive or not is where you get to do a little detective work of your own. First, why not check to see if there's a works cited page? If the article has a works cited page, then you could have some understanding of where they got their information and know that this author has done some of their research as well. Speaking of authors, second, you might want to check to see who the author is. Is there even an author listed? Not all websites list a specific author, and you need to have a specific author if you plan to use something for an academic paper. Next, look into the institution that published this article. Where did you find it? Why might they have published it? Are they a commercial organization? A nonprofit organization? Or are they an academy? Look into whether or not you should trust this organization and whether or not the information that they're providing could be used in an academic paper. But more than anything else, I want you to look for these two words: peer-reviewed. If a source is listed as peer-reviewed, that means it's been thoroughly examined and found to be substantive. If you can find an article labeled as peer-reviewed on your subject, you can rest assured that you're working with a respectable and useful source.
That just sounds
exhausting.
It might at first, but did you know there's a place designed specifically with academic research in mind that can provide tons of substantive sources? The library. Our library is not only filled with useful sources and information, but they also provide their own search engines to help you find exactly what you need. The library's main search engine, Coast, can search through all of their journals, books, articles, government documents, multimedia resources, and newspapers, all of which have been collected and cataloged specifically with academic research in mind.
But wait! There's more!
They also provide access to dozens of academic databases that provide even more substantive sources for research. But even without our school's tremendous library, there are still plenty of resources and databases available all over the web, as long as you understand what you need to look for in substantive sources.
Well, now it's your turn to take the helm.
So here's what you need to do. Find a source. Go online and either through our library's databases or your own searching, find a source about a recent news story or event. Make sure that it's one that you believe can be considered substantive by putting it through the simple checklist. First, look for a works cited page or bibliography. Second, look for an author. And third, look a little bit more into the publisher. It might seem a little shaky at first, but this whole process will become second nature as you develop a sense for analyzing the validity of sources. But for right now, just try it out. Check around the web and see if you can find a substantive source or database for substantive sources, and bring an example to class. We'll go over this more in class and look more into the potential that our library provides. But for right now, just try it out. See you in class.